Hey everybody, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at a card game that uses some poker chips in a relatively unique way. We're going to take a look at Hey Waiter by R&R Games. Now this is a game in which each player has a stack of dishes that they're trying to serve before the other players serve all of theirs. And it could be a partnership game where two players are trying to get rid of their dishes before the other two. But basically you're going to be playing a set of two cards in order to do something with your dishes, be it manipulate them or prevent your opponents from playing them, or simply serve the dishes. But real quick, why don't we take a look at what comes inside of this box. We'll see how the game plays, and we'll come back at the end and get my opinions on Hey Waiter. So here you can see the components for Hey Waiter. Now I've got enough components out for a 4-player game, which would be a team game. We'll discuss both the team game and the regular game real quick to show you how they differ a little bit. So each player in this game is going to have one of each of these waiter cards. So you'll see we have a blue, a red, sorry, a green, a red. This one's supposed to be blue, but it shows up as purple, and a white waiter here. And so these are cards that the player can flip over in order to gain a benefit throughout the game. In addition, we'll see that this player has 7 cards, and then they have 4 piles of stacks out here of dishes. So these stacks are drawn randomly from a bag at the start of the game and placed out here. And then in player order, each player is going to have the option of choosing one of these stacks, which will be their dishes that they need to get rid of. So we'll just say that our player here chose this one and that the other players chose appropriately. So we'll just move these out of the way for now. Now, how we're going to proceed from here is that these little trays will be out here in the center of the table. Our player has an index card as to how to play, and our players on their turn are going to take actions by playing 2 cards from their hand. So they're going to have this hand of cards, and each round they're going to play 2. In addition, at the start of the game, you must place your pile of dishes on top of one of the cards in your hand. So you'll look at your cards and decide which ones you don't like. I have a lot of green cards here, so I'm just going to take a green card from my hand, and I'm going to place my dishes on top of that card. If at any time I have multiple piles of dishes, I would have multiple cards underneath. So that will bring the total number of cards in my hand to 6, plus 1 on the table is 7. And your total cards between your hand and cards on the table should always equal 7. So from this point on, you're going to be taking turns playing cards from your hand in order to do something with this stack of dishes or with these little covers for dishes that can go out onto the table. So each of these different 4 colors of cards, let me go find a red one real quick so that we can describe red as well. So each of the 4 different colors of cards is going to do something different. So, for example, the red card could be played on the left, and the blue card could be played on the right. So, when you play 2 cards, they're going to match up like this, one on the left and one on the right, and the central columns here are going to dictate what it is that you're going to do. So let me set these down right here, and we can take a look at them. So, the central columns, X with the silverware means nothing, pi, well that means nothing. This one here, red, shows that I can move one of these covers onto the table or off of the table onto a stack of dishes. Now what these covers do is they prevent your opponents from serving their dishes to the customers. So each player has their stack of dishes here. And I could, with this action, move the blue cover onto somebody else's dishes. Now in a partner game, I would have my own pile. My partner would have their pile, and I don't want to block either one of those, but perhaps my partner plans on serving a blue dish. And when you serve dishes, everyone gets to serve the dish if the color is right. So perhaps I want to block this player's dishes with the blue cover, preventing them from playing it when my partner does. So that's how that would work. The bottom action here is X again, which means that nothing is going to happen. Now, of course, you could, for example, use a blue action and do it in reverse. So if I were to do a blue action, we'll see that the bottom 2 actions are blued out, but the top one here is now available. And so this one says that I'm going to be able to split my pile of dishes. So it would say, I can split my dishes at a red dish or pizza. And what this would allow me to do is to pick up at any one of my red tokens here and split my dishes into 2 piles. Again, I would have to put a card underneath this. So now I have 2 piles, one with blue on top and one with yellow on or white on top. But I am 1 card shorter in my hand. However, this does mean that whenever somebody serves a blue or a white dish, I'm going to get rid of a dish from my piles. So this is one way that you can shorten the number of piles you have, or shorten the pile you have, increase the number, but potentially serve more dishes. Now, so that's the first two actions. You have the option to split your stack to make more stacks and have more potential dishes to serve, or the option to add or remove a dish lid from somebody's pile, usually not your own unless there's already a lid on your pile, and then moving the blue lid would simply mean removing it from your own pile so that you can serve it here in the future. The other actions are green and white. So the green action is going to be serve. So let's say that, for example, I had done this and blocked this, and now my partner is playing green, which is serve blue. So serving blue, everyone that can serve blue will do so. In this case, this player could, but they have a lid on top, so now they no longer can, which means that my partner is going to serve his blue dish, he'll remove it from his pile, and he is one dish closer to voiding out his pile in order to put us closer to ending the game. Nobody else serves anything because they don't have any blue dishes, but if it had been serve white, for example, both this player and myself would have served our white dishes and been one dish closer to ending the game. Finally, there's the white action. So let's say that somebody played white-green, and we're in the central column again. Nothing happens with the food, but you are allowed to remove a lid and place it onto the table, and that is the green lid in this case. Well, the green lid's not there, so nothing happens. However, if the green lid were out, and on your own place, let's say that this player is playing this combination, they would be able to remove that green lid to the table. Note that the white action does not let you place a lid on somebody else. It simply lets you remove it if it's on your own stack. Finally, there is the busboy action, and it affects the green busboy. If you have this and your busboy is flipped face up where you can see his face, you would invert him and you would see that there's an action printed on the other side of this. This action allows you to serve whatever dish is on top of your tray or on top of your pile, so long as you don't have a lid on top. But you can only activate this when it's done a second time. So now that it's been flipped over like this, if somebody on their future turn, this player, were to play white-green again, this is going to allow them to activate this, flipping it back over and getting rid of whatever dish happens to be on top of their pile, regardless of color. So there are various ways in order to manipulate the stacks of dishes you have. Mess with your opponent's stack of dishes to prevent them from playing. Of course, serve for your partner if you have one when serving with the green action, or remove lids from your partner with the red action so that they can serve dishes later. The objective, of course, if in a single-player game where each player is competing against each other, is to void out your stack or stacks of dishes. As you eliminate stacks, if you have multiple, you will pick up whatever card is underneath, and once you eliminate all of your dishes in a single-player game, you'll win the game. In a pair game, both players must eliminate their stack of dishes. Once you've finished your own stack of dishes, you can start helping your partner by playing the blue action, which allows you to split their dishes and take some of them for yourself in order to void them and end the game. There are also several other actions that will affect your partner. The red action allowing you to move lids off of their area, or again, the blue action allowing you to split theirs. But basically, you're going to be trying to either work by yourself to eliminate your pile, or work with your partner to clear their pile. And the first player or team to do so will be the winner. And there you have it. That is Hey Waiter by R&R Games. Now, this is probably one of the most unique feeling kind of card games that I've played in a little while. I know it's not a new game. I'm a little bit late to the party here, but I love the feel of it. First, the components are really nice. I like the little tray things. They could have just used a bigger chip or something, right? But instead, they molded out covers for trays to simulate putting a lid on top of the dish so that it can't be served. The poker chips are a nice touch. They could have been little tiddlywinks or cards even that you would have had to de-stack as the game went on. So those are a nice touch as well. And of course, they're printed with little foods on them. So that's also good. They just have colors. So that, combined with the kind of unique card play where you're selecting two cards, matching up the centers, and using those in order to serve or prevent serving or manipulate your dish piles, is very interesting. The game is pretty easy to teach. I've played it with my parents a couple of times. They really enjoyed it. The hardest part is the iconography. It's not bad, really. It's not bad, but it's for some reason very difficult to remember. And the little player aid card they give you isn't a great way to remember it. It uses iconography to explain iconography a little bit, and that's not a great way to do things. But overall, once you've got it down, it's very easy to remember. You know, red, move or remove a lid. White, remove a lid, flip over your busboy. It's not so hard, but there is a little bit of a learning curve there. But overall, a very fun game, very quick to play, and kind of a unique feel to it overall. If that sounds good to you, I definitely suggest you check it out. That's Hey Waiter from R&R Games.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.